Great. Thank you for setting that context, sir. And hello, everybody. My name is Nithi, and I'm an implementation manager at Coursera. And I've been working with the PSU team for a few weeks now to set up the portal for the PSU students. And as sir mentioned, the students will be able to access the platform starting 1st of October, and the faculty members of different schools, different departments, they can request the licenses for their students if they want to give access to the Coursera courses. And the purpose of today's meeting is basically to help you understand the Coursera platform better and what are the different offerings of the Coursera platform. So we'll be covering that with the help of a presentation, as well as we'll also see it live on the Coursera platform. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your questions as well. Great. So we'll get started, and I'll quickly share my screen. I hope all of you are able to see my screen now.
Yes, I see
Great.
it.
Thank you. So both of us, my colleague Jasmine and myself, we are basically the project team from Coursera who's responsible for launching Coursera for Campus at PSU. Unfortunately, Jasmine is not able to join us today because she's not keeping well, but you will definitely see her more often in the future calls. And in terms of the agenda, this is what we thought about. Like, of course, we wanted to introduce ourselves to all the faculty members of PSU, then discuss about why are we here today, and we have already set some of that context. Then we'll talk more about what are Coursera courses, what are some of the assessment features on the Coursera platform, and then how can you integrate Coursera in your campus with your particular subjects that you are teaching or within your department. So those are a few examples that we will be providing you to help you understand how can you use Coursera for your students. I'll also be giving you a platform demo. Platform demo will be brief, and we'll talk about what are the different types of courses on the platform, what are the different domains in which we have courses at the moment, and so on. And then we'll close up with the next steps and Q&A if there are any questions from the faculty members present here today. Now, I think this has already been mentioned, but just for the understanding of all of the faculty members, PSU has entered into a partnership with Coursera, where PSU has procured 240 student licenses for a period of 2 years. And 240 licenses basically mean 240 seats, which means that 240 users of PSU can be given access to the platform. And once they are given access by the university, then the students can take up any number of courses that they would like to from the Coursera platform. So there is no restriction on the number of courses that each user can take. As sir mentioned, the activation of these licenses is due on October 1st, 2022, and hence it will end after 2 years, which will be 30th September 2024. And just to help you understand that why has PSU entered into this partnership with Coursera, so these are some of the goals that have been kept in mind by the university. So definitely one of the goals is to upskill and reskill the students of PSU with the latest tools and technologies, and some of the emerging skills like blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on, so that the PSU students are ready for the jobs of the future. When they enter the job market, they have the required skills. It is also to help the students basically get into the habit of self-learning, because Coursera is a self-paced platform and the students can learn anywhere at their own comfort. So it is also to inculcate that habit of learning and self-study amongst the PSU students. And definitely Coursera has a lot of content on engineering, management, and many other domains which we'll talk about today. So it will definitely benefit all of the students of PSU. And in terms of the goals, or I would say quantitative goals, the institution or the university will also take a look, and they will also be measuring that how many certifications students are completing every month and every quarter, just to see how the students are engaging with the platform. And the plan is also to conduct a survey with the students to understand how they think they have been benefited by the Coursera platform after they have used it for a year or so. So this is basically the use case, or the goals that the university has in terms of this partnership. Before we move forward into the section where we talk about what Coursera is and how do we integrate with different universities, I just wanted to see if by just raising your hand on Zoom, can some of the faculty members share if you have used Coursera before, and if you have done any Coursera course in the past. I just wanted to understand whether our audience already has an understanding of Coursera, or you are completely new to Coursera. You can use the raise hand feature if you have used Coursera before. That will help me understand this. Or maybe you can just type a yes in the chat box. That can work as well. Okay, I see one yes. Two of them. Okay. So I would assume that most of the faculty members present here are new to Coursera. So we'll start definitely right from the basics of Coursera. Great. So even before we jump into how can you use Coursera at your campus, I would probably talk about the basics of Coursera, and let me basically use these slides then that we had prepared for the student orientation session. So maybe this will help you understand more about Coursera in detail. So Coursera is basically a leading learning platform for a digital world. Coursera was started in 2012 by two professors of Stanford University who wanted to make education a good education or quality education available to any learner in the world who wants to learn. So that was the mission with which Coursera was started. We have already completed our 10 years. And at present, Coursera has about 107 million plus registered learners on the platform. These learners come from all walks of life. Some of them are working individuals, some of them are college students, and some of them are even senior executives who are using the Coursera platform to learn and to upskill themselves on a daily basis. Now, as you can see, we see ourselves supporting an ecosystem with three main pillars. Of course, one of the main pillars of Coursera are the learners of Coursera. And as I mentioned, we have about 100 million plus registered learners. Along with that, Coursera works with the educators of the world. So when I say educators, that means Coursera has partnered with 175 universities in the world, and these are all the top universities of the world, such as University of Michigan, Yale University, INSEAD, and many other popular Ivy League colleges and B schools. And the professors of these colleges are creating the courses on Coursera to teach the students globally. And Along with the university partners, we also have 75 plus industry partners. By industry partners, and I think if I can show you the slide as well in terms of which are the university partners that we have. So this is a quick glimpse of the universities that we work with. Again, there are a lot of logos here, but as you can see, we work with 175 plus universities such as University of London, Princeton University, Georgia Tech, University of Washington, Copenhagen Business School, and many more such schools who create the content on Coursera so that anybody in the world can learn. And then we also partner with industries, such as we have partnerships with Google, companies like Meta, then Salesforce, Alibaba Cloud, then companies like Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, and so on. And all of these companies are also creating content on Coursera, which can be consumed by your students, and they can learn the latest skills and technologies which are used in these firms as well. So this is the second part of the Coursera ecosystem, which is the educators. And finally, the third pillar of this ecosystem is the institutions that we work with. So we work with around 7,500 plus institutions across the globe. And we kind of divide these institutions in three parts. We have more than 3,400 companies that we are working with. These businesses use Coursera to upskill and reskill their own employees and basically make sure that their internal talent is skilled enough. Then we also work with governments in many countries such as Barbados. We also work with Korean government and so many more government agencies to help upskill the citizens of that country or the employees that work with the government agencies. And finally, we work with campuses or universities like PSU. We call this offering Coursera for campus. And basically, we have 4,000 plus institutions across the globe that we work with. And most of these universities use the Coursera platform to upskill their students as well as the faculty members so that they have the skills which are required for the 21st century. I hope this introduction was helpful. I'll take a pause. Pao Pao, you mentioned that you're not able to see the screen. Is that the same with everyone, or are others able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Any questions on what has been shared so far? If we have basically talked about what Coursera is and how are we working with different institutions in the world. Any questions, any thoughts before we move forward? Okay. If there are no questions, we'll move forward with the presentation. So as I mentioned, with this partnership between PSU and Coursera, 240 students can be given access to the platform. And once they are given the access, your students will be able to take up any courses from the Coursera platform. And just so that you can understand the volume that we are talking about, Coursera platform today has about 9,000 plus courses on our platform. All of our courses are basically recorded courses which are available to your students at any point in time. They can learn based on their own convenience. They can even learn during their travel time if they would like to. So all of these courses will be available to your students as part of this partnership, and they'll be able to take up these to upskill themselves, for the skills of the future. Now, coming to the next section basically how can you integrate Coursera with your own subjects. We'll talk about all of these things. So we have basically divided it into a 5-step process. So most of the faculty members in different universities that we work with, they use Coursera as part of their teaching process. So basically, if, for example, I'm teaching Masters of Business Administration students, and as part of that, my syllabus will have multiple subjects, right? Maybe subjects like marketing, subjects like data analysis, or data driven decision making. So these are all the subjects that you might be teaching to your students at the campus. Now, what faculty members usually do is they select some of the courses from the Coursera catalog, which they think can supplement what they are already teaching in the classroom. So these courses act as additional learning for your students, and they are integrated with your curriculum. So the faculty selects the courses for integration, and then basically after the faculty has selected the courses, they inform the students that what is it that you expect from them. Maybe in some cases the faculty would want the students to complete the course before the class. That is the expectation that you can set with your students, that it's a foundational course or a prerequisite course that everybody has to do. And once the students have completed the courses, they will come to your class, and then you can do the discussion around that course. So what we are talking about here is, this is an example of a flip classroom where the learning is happening basically outside. The student comes to your class already with after doing that course, and then you can utilize your classroom time in order to basically have that discussion and dive deeper into certain topics along with your students. Then Coursera also provides your students the ability to do hands-on practice. So the students can learn specific tools using Coursera, and I will give you a demo of what are the different tools that your students can learn and how can they learn that on Coursera. And then I completely understand that it is very important for the faculty members to know that how will the students be assessed, what kind of assessments do we have on the Coursera platform. So this will also be covered in my presentation. And finally, what is the role that faculty plays in all of this learning? We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So these are the important aspects that you need to keep in mind in order to integrate Coursera with your basically campus or in your particular subjects that you are teaching. Now, I'll just quickly take a look at the chat as well. Okay, great. Please feel free to put up your questions or even unmute yourself to ask any questions. We'll talk about what is a Coursera course, how does it look like, and what are the different assessment features on Coursera. So before we dive into that, first of all, we would like to talk about what are the different types of learning or types of content that we have on Coursera. So on the Coursera platform, these are the different types of courses, or you can say different types of learning products that we have. The most common product that we have is what we call a course. A course is usually 3 to 4 weeks in duration, and it helps you develop a new skill, and it can be from any of the universities or industries that we talked about earlier. Then apart from the courses, Coursera platform also has what we call a guided project. Guided projects are shorter in duration. They are generally 1 to 2 hours long, and they help your students do hands-on practice of different tools like Tableau, Power BI, Excel, PowerPoint presentation. So if your students want to learn any of the basic tools to any of the advanced tools, they can do that by taking up guided projects on Coursera. And then for deeper learning, we have what we call specializations. and professional certificates. Specializations and professional certifications are basically a group of courses. So, for example, if one student wants to dive deeper into a particular topic and they want to deep skill themselves, let's take example of Python. Then we have a specialization called Python for Everybody by University of Michigan, which is a combination of 4 to 5 courses. And when the student takes up all of these 4 to 5 courses, they get deep knowledge of that subject. Similarly, professional certifications are also a combination of courses, but they are offered by our industry partners. For example, we have certifications from Google on data science, on data analytics. We have certifications from Facebook on social media marketing, backend web developer, front end web developer. So, all of these technical certifications are also there. If any of your student wants to get into such roles or they want to get into such jobs, uh, I would request the faculty members to mute themselves if they are not talking. Yeah, thank you. So these are the different formats that we have on the Coursera platform, and I would like to show you through a demo as well. For example, just this is a demo program, which is the MBA Learning Program for your MBA students. As you can see, we have content across many domains. So these are the 11 categories in which we usually qualify our content. Categories are language learning, social sciences, physical science and engineering, and of course there are further skills under each of these categories as well, like courses on electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, chemistry, physics and astronomy, and research methods. Then under social sciences we have law, education, economics, and so much more. We have courses on health education, information technology, then courses on data science, computer science, and business and arts and humanities. So we cover a wide variety of the domains and skills using our catalog that we have. And as I was mentioning earlier, for example, if somebody wants to learn Python, then they have different types of products to learn from. For example, the most common product is a course. So if you look at a course, for example, let me take this example. This is a course by Google, which is called Crash Course on Python. So it's like a beginner course for anybody who's starting to learn what Python is. In the course page, the student can read more details about the course, like what is the level of the course, how much time it will take approximately, and then what is the syllabus of the course. And once they have gone through it, the students can enroll if they like it, and then they can start the course. And this is how a course on Coursera looks like. So each course on Coursera is divided into different weeks. Each week, you can think of it as a module. Like in this case, there are 6 modules that the student has to complete. Now, what are the different learning elements within a course? So when the student starts with week 1, mostly in the week 1, the student has a learning material which is in the form of videos. As you can see, there are multiple videos in this particular course, and the students can watch the videos to learn the concepts, right? So in this case, you can see that there is a transcript which runs along with the video. So it helps the students to go through the transcript if they are not able to follow along with the video. We have other features also to help the students learn on Coursera platform better, such as the students can save notes if they like a particular part of the video and they would like to revise later. They can save notes, and the students can also download the video for offline access. So for example, if the students want to study during their travel time and they don't have good internet access, then they can keep the video downloaded and they can use this downloaded video to study during the travel time. So these are some features of the platform, but the learning happens mainly in the form of videos or in the form of readings. So in readings, the instructor would usually give maybe a paragraph, they would give a presentation or a PDF for the student to go through. But also along with these videos and readings, we have assessments which are embedded in every course, which I'll talk about in detail, but just to give you an overview that each of the Coursera course has multiple assessments. These assessments can be in different formats. They can be multiple choice quizzes, they can be peer review assignments, or they can be programming assignments as well if your students are taking a more technical course. Like in this case, we have a final programming assignment which the student has to complete. So all of your students, when they take up a Coursera course, they are required to complete all of these assessments and pass them successfully in order to get the course certificate. Meaning the students will not get the certificate until unless they pass all of these assessments. And of course, the certificates act like a great motivation for the students. And this is how the certificates look like. The certificates carry the logo of the university from which the course is. For example, if the course is from Duke University, the certificate will carry the logo of Duke University, and it will look something like this. So, of course, the students can share these certificates on their LinkedIn profile to showcase to the employers that they have the right skills for a particular job. So that's how a course on the Coursera platform looks like. I'll take a pause before we move forward. Is this making sense? Are there any questions from the faculty members?
No, I have no question at the moment.
Okay. Anyone else? Any questions?
I saw a question on the chat box.
Yeah, I can also take a look. Is there any course for life sciences? Yes, Dr. Kritika, we have a couple of courses on life sciences as well. If you can tell me specifically what topic are you looking for, we can dig deeper into that. But I can certainly share. We have this. I would say best practices sheet. I have already shared it with the PSU team. Here we have divided the courses into different categories. So we can share this Excel file with you and you can understand what is the breadth of courses that we cover based on different academic disciplines. For example, under healthcare and life sciences, we have a couple of courses on topics like biology, biotechnology, food and nutrition, forensic sciences, and so much more. So we do cover many of these domains as well. Plant biology, yes, we definitely have courses on that. There's a question on, can teachers and faculty members register for Coursera and take the courses? I think I would pass this question to Dr. Sangwan. Maybe, sir, you can answer this better.
Well, the student is our first priority, but if we have some license left, we definitely will distribute it to a faculty member, and we will inform you soon about this.
Great, thank you. That makes complete sense. And yeah, any other questions before we move forward? Okay, let me take a look at the chat box. Yes, we are recording this webinar, so I'll be sharing that recording with all of you as well. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. So we'll move forward. So right now what we have seen is one course of Coursera. But as I mentioned, apart from the courses, we also have a couple of other learning products as well. Like I'm taking the example of Python again. And in Python, if you want to deep skill yourself and you want to get into the depth of this topic, then what you can take is maybe a specialization. A specialization is a combination of multiple courses. Like if I take this example, this is a specialization called Python for Everybody by University of Michigan. And in this specialization, you have a combination of 5 courses. It starts with programming for everybody, getting started with Python, and then it goes on to different courses like Python data structures, using Python to access web data, and so much more. So if generally, because it's 4 to 5 courses, it will take you about 3 to 4 months to complete all of them. But definitely, if you want to dig deeper into a particular topic, you can do a specialization. And the good part about a specialization is that you will get individual certificates for each of the courses. And after the individual certificates, once you have completed the entire specialization, you will also get a specialization certificate mentioning that you have completed the entire specialization Python for Everybody. So basically, that's the final certificate that you get. And finally, apart from specializations, you can also take up professional certifications. Now, as I mentioned, professional certifications are basically created by our industry partners like Google, IBM, and other companies as well, such as Deep Learning, Meta, and so on. So, for your students, there are multiple options. Like if they want to become a cybersecurity analyst, or if they want to become a backend developer or a social media strategist, we have certifications for those. Like this is an IBM certification if anybody wants to become a full stack software developer. And this is a combination again of 10 to 11 courses. So professional certifications are even longer in duration. So if to complete these 12 courses, it might take you up to 9 to 10 months. But if you do all of these courses, you can very well say that I have all the skills that are required for a full stack developer. So the students can get ready for such jobs if that is their target, and these are the kind of jobs that they want to get into. So this is what we call a basically I would say uh, professional certification. Now I would take the one last example which we talked about, which is a guided project. What is a guided project? Now I'm taking a different example other than technology. For example, if somebody wants to learn Canva, Canva is a very popular tool which is used by social media strategists, designers to kind of design their day-to-day posters or any other templates that they would like to. So the students can take up a guided project on Coursera, which helps them basically learn this tool. So what the students need to do is they can enroll in the guided project through the PSU learning program. And then in this project, they will have the ability to practice the tool live. So basically, they have to open the tool, and once they open the guided project, this is a kind of view that your students will see. It is a split screen view. And on my right hand side, I have a recorded video of the instructor who's teaching me on how to create, like the teacher will teach me everything from scratch. They will first teach me how to create an account on Canva if I don't already have one. Then on Canva, how can you create a Facebook post? How can you prepare the post for publishing? How can you prepare thumbnails? How can you prepare a post for Instagram? And so much more. So all of these activities I'll be learning in the form of small tasks. Each of them are 5 to 10 minutes long. So it does not take a lot of time for you to do a guided project. You can complete it in 1 to 2 hours. And on my left hand side, what I have is my cloud workspace. So on my cloud workspace, I can basically go ahead and practice the same tool. For example, in this case, if I already have an account on Coursera, I'll go, sorry, account on Canva, I'll go ahead and basically sign up with that account, or you can create a new account as well if that is required. And then I'll go ahead and practice the tool alongside the instructor. So basically, I can watch the video, let's say for 10 seconds or 20 seconds, and then I can stop the video, and then I can practice the same thing on my left hand side. So this is what a guided project does. It gives you the ability to practice all of these tools so that you can get ready. And as you might already be aware that today industries look for the students who already have a basic understanding of these tools which are used in the industry quite often. And these students who have practical knowledge will definitely get an edge over the other students. So that is how it can help the students basically to develop new skills and get used to these tools and technologies which are very popular in the industry. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just logging into my Canva account because I already have one using this cloud workspace, and then I can basically start practicing the tool. So these are the 4 different kind of learning products which we have on Coursera, and we call it a stackable form of learning because these stack upon each other. Students can start with a guided project which is shorter in duration. So it starts with a 45 to 60 minutes learning, then the students can move on to a course, and then the students can move on to a specialization and professional certifications in order to get deeper into a particular topic. So that's about the different formats of learning on Coursera. I would take a pause to see if any faculty has any questions before we move forward.
Is there any maximum duration? Should I complete any courses?
Great question. So basically all of the courses on Coursera are self-paced. So when you enroll in a course, a timeline is given to you for that particular course. That is definitely there. And let me in fact show it to you on the platform. So for example, if I enroll in this course, which is Crash Course for Python, I had enrolled in it earlier, but I have not done the course. Like I missed the deadline and the due date has passed for me to complete the assessment. That is okay. Like if the students miss out on that, they will always have an option to basically reset their deadlines as well. So it is completely self-paced in that manner because the students can go ahead and continue their courses. They will have that option to like I can show it to you in some cases. Like here, if I've missed the deadline, the students will have that option to reset their deadline and they can keep on continuing with the course. So it is not mandatory to complete the course within this timeline. Like if your schedule got busy and you were not able to do it, then you can always reset your deadlines and continue the course. Like in this case, I keep on enrolling into multiple courses for demo purposes, but of course I'm not learning all of them. So in this case, I did not complete the assignment and I missed the deadline. I can reset it and then I can continue with the course. It's that simple.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, so we'll move forward. This is something that I've already shown to you, that how does a Coursera course look like. So each of the Coursera courses, of course, have learning objectives. Like as faculty, you would definitely know that before even you start teaching a subject, you define the learning objectives of that subject, that what is it that you want your students to take away. And after describing the learning objectives, then you create the course material that aligns to those objectives. And then along with the course material, in order to make sure that the student is learning and they are developing the skills, we also have assignments in this for the students within the courses so that they can practice and they can revise what they have learned so far. So this is how basically a course structure looks like on the platform. And as I mentioned earlier, we have different forms of assessments within the course. For example, generally there are also in video questions. So while watching a video, we pop up different questions to the students in between, just to make sure that they are actually listening to the video. Then there are discussion prompts. Discussion prompts are just to facilitate discussion within the courses, but these are not graded items. The students is not graded on these. Then we have quizzes, which are multiple choice questions, and these are auto graded. Apart from that, we also have peer review assignments. Peer review assignments are subjective assignments where the student is supposed to submit maybe a case study, a presentation, an essay, something like that. These are open-ended questions. And then how these are graded is that any student who's also taking the course along with me, they will give me grades, they will review my submission, and similarly I will review the submission of others. So these are reviewed by the learners who are taking the course along with you. And finally, we also have technical assessments, which we call the programming assessments, if the student is taking a more technical course. Now, till this point, we have talked about what Coursera is, what are the different learning formats on Coursera, and how can you take up courses on Coursera platform. But now in this section, we'll talk about how can you integrate Coursera in the topics or in the subjects that you are teaching at PSU. So I've taken an example of an MBA module, but of course you can similarly create this sort of a structure for any subject or any school that you are related to. So for example, if a faculty is teaching the MBA first year students, maybe these are the 6 subjects that a first year student is supposed to study. The first subject is Joy of Management. It's a 2-credit course or 2-credit subject. Then there is microeconomics, business statistics, marketing and consumer behavior, Excel spreadsheet modeling, and written analysis and communication. This is the syllabus for a first year student for their first semester of MBA. Now, in this case, what faculty can do is they can pick and choose the subjects where they want to blend Coursera. And then there are 2 ways of offering the courses. In some cases, you can even make that subject standalone. By standalone, we mean that we have a lot of courses on microeconomics already. So the faculty can choose maybe 3 to 4 courses from Coursera, and they can tell the students that you have to complete all of these courses in order to get your 2 credits for the subject. And then the faculty also does a final assessment of the student in order to give the student final credit for that particular subject. And this is called standalone learning, where all of the learning is happening through Coursera. The student is doing the entire subject on Coursera. The other format could be blended learning, where the faculty can choose maybe 2 to 3 courses from Coursera. For example, we have given an example here that these are the proposed courses on microeconomics that we have. We have a course called Microeconomics, the Power of Markets by University of Pennsylvania. Then we have 2 other courses, Microeconomics When Markets Fail and Microeconomics Principles, which is by the University of Illinois. And these are the average hours that usually a learner takes in order to complete these courses. So the faculty can basically replace the entire microeconomics subject by basically by the Coursera courses, and the students can learn on Coursera completely. And then the faculty can just take the final assessment, and maybe Coursera courses will carry some weightage, and some weightage will be given to the final assessment that the faculty will take. This is called standalone learning, but of course you can do blended learning as well. And in blended learning, what you can do is maybe you can just pick up 1 or 2 courses, and you can tell your students, maybe because they are in first year, they are just coming to college, they might need some bridge courses, like bridge courses to kind of give them the basic knowledge of the subject. So you can pick up some beginner level courses and you can tell your students that this is a prerequisite course and you have to do this course before coming to my class. So in that way, the student will get the basics from Coursera, and then the faculty will build onto that and teach that subject in the classroom. And this is what we call blended learning format. And for a topic like Excel spreadsheet, we do have a couple of guided projects on Excel spreadsheet. So while you are teaching Excel spreadsheet at your campus, you can also recommend some guided projects to your students so that they can practice the same tool on the Coursera platform. So of course, different faculty members have different methodologies of finding the right courses, but we have all of these resources where we have already kind of divided the courses based on the different academic disciplines, like academic disciplines in engineering, business, sciences, healthcare, language. So we can share this with you and you can filter out the courses with the help of this sheet. This will help you find the most relevant courses. You can also keep in mind the learning hours and the number of credits which are linked to a particular subject. In many universities, we have seen that this is a requirement. So the faculties keep these things in mind. And then, of course, students will be evaluated within the Coursera course, but you can also have your own assessment towards the end in order to completely check and see whether the student has learned the particular skill or not. And again, these are some best practices. If you are using Coursera course in your subject, then you can blend it and you can use some of the Coursera course pieces in your classroom as well. For example, when you are creating your lecture plan, maybe for a topic like cloud computing, you can definitely integrate some of the Coursera videos in your classroom. You can show it to your students and then you can basically discuss about the same topics in your classroom, which we call the flipped classroom as well. We have talked about this. Guided projects is something which we have already talked about. Your students can learn different skills using these guided projects. And this is an example where the instructor is teaching the students how to use Tableau and how to create different visualizations and different charts using Tableau. And we have guided projects in many domains. This is just an example of the guided projects that we have for business students. Like we have guided projects on storytelling with data, how to create a financial statement using Microsoft Excel, how to predict credit card fraud with R, which is a very popular language these days. So we have multiple guided projects, and this is one example from the business domain. So platform demo is something which I've already given you from a learner perspective. But before we move forward to the admin side of things, again, I'll take a pause to see if you have any questions about what has been covered so far. Any questions, any doubts? Maybe about guided projects, anything else? Okay, I'll take that as a no, and we'll quickly move forward. We are left with just one or two more topics. So, what I had shown you was mainly the learner side of things. That how can a learner access different courses and different types of courses on Coursera. But just for your understanding, apart from the learner side, we also have an admin panel for PSU. So as an administrator, the PSU faculty will also get access to that admin panel, where you will be able to track the progress of your students on a regular basis. So there are multiple kind of reports which are available on the Coursera admin panel. So basically, what you'll be able to see is you'll be able to see what are the courses that your students are taking, how much progress they have made in that particular course, and if they have completed the course or not. And once the student completes the course, the faculty is also able to see the final grade of the student as well as the certificate of the student. So all of these reporting details will also be present on the admin panel for the faculty, so that you can track the progress of your students on a regular basis, and you can nudge them as and when required, so that basically your students do not face any issues, and you can also help them if they are stuck and they are not proceeding with the different courses. So these are the kind of reports which will be available to you. That was all that we had from a presentation perspective. I'll quickly close with the next steps. As Dr. Sangwan mentioned that PSU has 240 licenses for students, and currently some of the faculty members have signed up and they have requested for X number of licenses. So about 116 seats have already been filled up, but there are still more than 100 seats which are vacant. So if you think that this platform can be helpful for your students, it can help them develop new skills and get ready, get better employability skills, then you can definitely reach out to the PSU team, and you can request any number of licenses for your students. So that is the first step. And of course, once you give us the details on how many licenses you need, a program will be set up for your students. They will be invited on 1st of October to start accessing the platform, and then you will also be given the admin rights to track the progress of your students. So this is how the process will look like, and that's all we had from a presentation perspective. We'll take a pause, and if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions at this point in time.
Do you have any information or data on the proportion or percentage of students who enroll in the Coursera course and actually complete the course?
Okay, if I understand correctly, what you're asking is the completion percentage. Is that correct?
Right, right.
Yeah. I don't have that data on top of my mind, sir, but I can definitely share that with you later over email, that what is the usual completion percentage that we see. But one thing that I can definitely share is that because Coursera has so many courses and guided projects, so we always see that the completion rates are higher when the faculty is recommending the courses to the students and maybe giving them some marks or internal assessment marks for those courses. If the students have some credits or some marks attached to those courses, then of course they will take the courses seriously and they will complete the courses on time. And definitely we have seen that in such cases, the completion rates go up to 80-90% because the students know that they have some basically some of their marks attached to the Coursera courses. Rather than just leaving it open and kind of letting the student decide which course they want to take up out of the 9,000 courses, then we see that the completion rates are slightly lower, because of course 9,000 is a lot and the students might be lost in terms of which courses they should be doing. So it is definitely recommended that the faculty has to play the role of a mentor, so that the students are given the direction that these are the courses that they should take up, in order to, if like the students can have a discussion with the faculty that this is the role or this is the job that they want to get into, and then the faculty can recommend the right courses to the students and give them one-on-one mentorship, which really helps drive the usage of the platform.
Okay, thank you. So evaluation drives learning.
Definitely, yeah, that's true.
Okay, if you guys are interested in having Coursera license, you can email me. You can find my email in the chat box.
สวัสดีครับพี่สงวนพอดีผมอยากจะถามนิดนึงครับว่าคือคอร์สเซล่านี่คือเขาเปิดไลเซนส์ให้กับนักศึกษา PSU ถูกไหมครับ
ใช่ครับ yeah it is for PSU student at the moment it's for graduate student ครับ
โอเคครับแต่ว่านักศึกษาปริญญาโทเนี่ยก็คือสามารถเข้าได้ใช่ไหมครับ
Oh, okay, I will respond in Thai ตอนนี้นะถ้าอาจารย์ท่านใดนะครับต้องการ license นะครับสามารถอีเมลมาที่ผมได้เลยครับอีเมลผมอยู่ที่ chat box นะครับเราจะถามเรื่องหลักสูตรเรื่องจำนวน license ที่ต้องการนักศึกษาอีเมลนักศึกษาอย่างนี้นะครับ
อ๋อแสดงว่าก็คือต้องได้ไลเซนส์ตรงนี้ก่อนแล้วก็ถึงจะได้ลิงก์เข้าไปเพื่อจะเข้าไปดูรายวิชาที่ทางมิสเขาพูดเมื่อกี้ใช่ไหมครับ
อ๋อถ้าอาจารย์อยากจะดูรายวิชาดูได้เลยครับอืมมีแคตตาล็อกอยู่จริงๆเราส่ง QR code ไปให้นะครับที่สามารถเข้าถึงแคตตาล็อกนี้ได้นะครับหรือยังไงใครอยากได้แคตตาล็อกโดยตรงผมจะอีเมลให้ครับนะครับแคตตาล็อกรายวิชาครับครับ
ก็คือคนที่ได้แคตตาล็อกตรงนี้เข้าไปเนี่ยสามารถแอดคอร์สเรียนแล้วก็เริ่มการทำศึกษาได้เลยใช่ไหมครับ
อ๋อคนที่ได้เจ้าแคตตาล็อกนี้หมายถึงให้อาจารย์เลือกว่ามีวิชาที่สนใจไหมถ้ามีวิชาที่อาจารย์สนใจจะใช้กับนักศึกษานะครับก็อีเมลหาผมเพื่อขอไลเซนส์ครับ
อ๋อแสดงว่าแต่ว่านักศึกษาเองเนี่ยขอกับทางคุณสงวนได้โดยตรงไหมครับ
อ๋อต้องผ่านอาจารย์ครับผ่านอาจารย์ครับนักศึกษา
ต้อง
ขอโด
ผ่านอาจารย์
ยตรงไม่ได้ครับ
โอเคครับขอบคุ
ครับ
ณมากครับ
we assign the license through the faculty memberครับ Niti, do you have any last word for this workshop?
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. That was all from my side. I think I would just encourage all of the faculty members to definitely look at the catalog, and I'm sure you will find some relevant courses for your students. So maybe Dr. Sangwan, if you can share that catalog with all of the faculty members, that would be great. They can review it, they can see what courses are relevant for their students, and accordingly they can request the licenses. I'm honestly looking forward to many students at PSU using Coursera. So all the best, and we'll definitely keep connecting with the faculty also. As I mentioned, the faculty members play a very important role, and the success of the program definitely lies in your hands because you are the first point of contact of the students. So to motivate the students to continue learning, to take ownership of their self-learning, faculty members are best placed to do that. So we'll definitely be in touch with you. If you need any support, you can reach out to me or my colleague Jasmine. So we'll definitely be there to help. Yeah, that's all. And I think with that, we can end the meeting. Does that sound okay?
Okay, thank you very much, Niti, and thank you all the participants. Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Okay, have a nice day, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.